So I've been asked by some of my nonprofit brothers and sisters to talk very quickly about what's going on with United Airlines. And the interesting thing about it is the question is, what if United is a partner, a sponsor, a supporter, a benefactor, and you have them as a major part of your messaging? And do you, as a non-profiteer, have any responsibility to respond or react to the recent, unpleasantness that the United Airlines did to a passenger to remove him physically? And yeah. So here's my thought on this. The easy answer to this is nonprofit. No, you don't have to do anything, and this is just a PR problem, and this is a very serious problem that a brand and a business is going to have to go through crisis management on their own. But I got to tell you, I actually don't believe that. See, for me, and those of you who know me, I talk a lot about value and I talk a lot about voice. And those two things mean everything to me personally, professionally, and for the brands, the nonprofit brand. They mean everything to me. And I think at a moment like this, when you have such a situation, I think all groups need to speak up about this. Now, I don't think you need to necessarily go to war and have a battle and say United Airlines are terrible. Obviously, they are supporting you in some way, and you are gracious for that support. But having these two things, this bad PR and what they did to this gentleman on this flight and moving him and extricating him and all of the silliness about that, and your support to your organization doesn't change the facts that those two things tied together, not good. So I think it's in our best interest to share our feelings and our thoughts with an organization like United, for example. If you were one of those nonprofits, and there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of nonprofits that are being supported by United Airlines through their philanthropy, and I think it would do everyone a good service for nonprofits to reach out to United Way and say, hey, you need to know that the values of this nonprofit or of this executive director or something really don't align up with the way you're handling this, and we just felt it was important for us to share that with you. Now, I know I'm going to get a ton of emails back to me and messaging on social media saying, Doug, that's crazy because you're putting your organization out on a limb, and you might lose funding and lose support from United by simply coming out against them on this. And you're right. And I think it's worth it. Why is it worth it? Simply put, because we work for the good of the order. We work for the greater good of our communities. And when something like this happens, an injustice that happens, and I know that more storylines will come out and there'll probably be more issues with it down the road here, but we should be speaking. We should be using our voice. Again, voice and value, the two things I talk a lot about in an organization, developing good cohesion and good teamwork and good leadership. Voice and value are the two things I talk about all the time. This is a time for a nonprofit to share its voice and say no. Even a brand that supports us and a brand that has been great to what we do and our mission and our people and our customers or clients, no, we can't support them, and we can't think that what they have done is anything appropriate. Yes, I think nonprofits have a responsibility in many ways to simply say that. Now, again, I'm not saying you need to go out and picket United Airlines and turn back their donation and go to war with them and do a campaign where you're pushing out boycott United. That's a personal decision that individuals need to make. But as an organization, I think it is important that in a partnership, regardless if there is a donor and a receiver or a straight partnership or anything in between, I think it's good for partners to let others know how they feel about things. And I think it's in our best interest to do it too. So that's just a quick hit from me. I'm appreciative of everybody that sent that email and asked me that. I think United, you got some splaining to do, as they used to say. I think you need to really understand that this kind of behavior is just not going to be tolerated by a lot of people. And the more that we, as a collective community, voice that through our own voices and through the power of the dollar bill, corporations will get the message that this is no longer an acceptable behavior and this is no longer an acceptable practice. And for those of you who are going to quickly go back to me and say, you know what, you sign that agreement when you book your ticket that there are rights and there are rules and regulations that United as a company then control over you when you're in that aircraft. That is true, and I don't think this rises to that at all. This man was forcibly removed, and even before that, he was being removed without his permission, and there could have been a better way to handle this all around. So that's it for here. Thanks, everybody. Keep on connecting. Nonprofit Power.